Greetings. This is Bryan Hudson. Welcome to another episode of Conversations in Focus. This program concept is very simple: to bring people who are having a positive impact and making a difference in our community and in God's kingdom. Our guest today is Pastor Denell Howard from E.V.O.L.V.E International. I want to encourage you to share the video from this program and the podcast with others, as we want to support this man, his work, and to extend, hopefully, their reach and to encourage support for this valuable work. Denell Howard is the founder and director of E.V.O.L.V.E International. The letters E.V.O.L.V.E stand for Educating for Victory, offering leadership, vision, and empowerment. Let me read this purpose statement from the website. E.V.O.L.V.E International Incorporated is an organization developed solely to grow and develop leaders. Our goal is to inspire African American males to intentionally lead in areas of education, entrepreneurship, civics, and mentoring. The challenges within the Black community are vast and multifaceted, yet we believe we can articulate the solution in one word: leadership. That's a great statement. The work of E.V.O.L.V.E International is to engage in the development of the next generation and to empower leaders to evolve by creating supportive environments through the 5 C's: coaches, conferences, clubs, camps, and the E.V.O.L.V.E Education Center. Denell Howard is also the pastor of Hovey Street Church of Christ here in Indianapolis. He and his wife, Keisha, have 3 wonderful children. What I find remarkable and refreshing about Denell Howard is his authenticity, consistency, and clarity of purpose. He is a man who does not compromise concerning the assignment the Lord has given him, maintaining laser focus on empowering young Black men and bringing people together from all walks of life to fulfill that purpose. Really enjoyed sitting down with Pastor Howard to record this conversation. I trust you'll enjoy it and share it with others. Welcome back, friends. This is Conversations in Focus, and I am really honored to welcome to the program today Pastor Denell Howard. Welcome, Pastor Howard.
Hey, man, I'm glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to have you in the house.
Here in the house.
Yeah, we wanted to talk to you for quite some time, and we got some time. He's very busy preparing for summer programs. He is, as we've already discussed, he is the director of E.V.O.L.V.E International.
Yes, sir.
And doing a lot of good work with our young people. My first question, Pastor Howard, is what was your motivation for starting E.V.O.L.V.E International?
I guess my motivation was my life, I guess I would say it like that. My motivation was seeing young boys who looked like me, who had some of the situations that I had or close. I started an organization when I was in Mississippi, or from Greenwood, Mississippi. So I could say this on your show. My first organization was called Proud to Be Black.
Okay.
And it stood for Building Educational Black Leaders Around Community Kids.
Wow.
And we were formulating Proud to Be Black. And I moved to Indianapolis. And I didn't think Indianapolis was ready to support Proud to Be Black. So we started coming up with a few names and ideas, and one of them was Kaizen, constant change. And so I was like, that doesn't roll off the tongue well. I don't even know if I said it well right now.
Right.
So we eventually landed on E.V.O.L.V.E, you know. So, but I've always been the guy to try to help, try to teach, try to encourage young Black boys, because I remember me.
Yes. Was there something in your life that occurred, or a series of events that made you move this direction?
Yeah, I've always been, even as a young guy, helpful. And so wanting to be of assistance, wanting to be an encourager, wanting to be a builder, wanting to help young boys like myself develop, being in a group of people, not having, your biological father, they're present, all those kind of things. You go through that stuff and you go, man, how can I help somebody else?
Yes.
Overcome that. Even if I'm still struggling in the journey myself, how can I pull somebody to a level of success for them? Because I've always made sure that I'm not trying to make people successful. I want people to be what success looks like for them.
Yeah.
So what their challenges are. But yeah, a lot of life, a lot of failures, but lessons learned. A lot of struggle, a lot of personal struggle, a lot of watching struggle, and figuring out how can I be of service to in the words of Langston Hughes, those of the darker hue.
Yes. Yes. I like that you speak of that, because what's not really noticed as much from the outside is how in our Black community, many of us do empower one another. Yes. We make that our primary objective.
Yes.
And people talk about all the trouble and problems. Well, imagine it without us. How much worse would it be?
Right.
So people should understand that the work that is being done, work like E.V.O.L.V.E and others,
yes,
are making a difference.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, making a big difference. Let me ask you this. What are some misconceptions about working with young men, especially Black young men?
Probably one of the biggest misconceptions, I would say, is that they like it, or they want it like this, or they don't want to change. It's this give up mentality. I think the biggest misconception is that people think our young Black boys have given up. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we don't. There's an idea theory of learned helplessness. Mm. And so some of our young boys function in learned helplessness. Mm. It's not that they've given up. They just have learned how to function in a helpless position. Mm. And so we don't talk about Black male depression among young Black boys, the inability to self-discover. Their counterparts are given time to self-discover. Mm. So I think the biggest misconception is that young Black boys have given up, or they don't want any help. They don't want to do nothing. They want to. They're just working on how to, and needing that encouragement, needing that empowerment, that love that most of their counterparts get on their journey to discovering who they really are. Mm-hmm. So I think that we start to realize our boys have not quit. They have not given up.
Yes.
They are warriors. They do fight. They do struggle. They do wrestle. Nobody really wants to be, be careful on the podcast. Mm-hmm. Nobody really wants to be an N-word, I guess I say it like that. They don't want to be. Mm-hmm. They really want to be amazing. They really want to be impactful. They really want to change lives. They really want to feed their little brothers and sisters or help their mothers. They really want their parents together. They really want their fathers out of prison. They really have desires. How many Black boys want to run their own business or all these kind of things? They got great dreams, but sometimes Howard Thurman said it best, because they are despised, they despise themselves. Mm. So
yes, that is so true. We ran media camp for 20 years, and summer programs, 4 to 8 weeks, depending on how long the summer was. Of course, summer's gotten shorter, right, as schools change schedules.
Yes.
And every year we had kids come in, young men, young women come in, and there's always, you see that they have lived under low expectation for a long time.
Yes.
Because when they come to our program, we're lifting up all the things they're going to do. We show examples of previous students, what they've done. And we come in saying, we expect this from you. Mm-hmm. And we get the sense, was me? I can't do that. I like to learn the helplessness.
Right.
But then in the first week, the first projects that they did was video production or graphics, and on Fridays we have a thing called we have a exhibition basically of their work. Mm-hmm. and they would show their work to the other students and whoever came to the event. And they're like, I did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did that.
Yeah.
And it was always in you, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying, man. Our biggest misconception that they don't want it, that they're apathetic, but that apathy came from somewhere.
Well, it came from adults.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
You let them loose.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things we teach our young boys, we have our laws. Our laws are our foundation. But one of the things we teach them, one of Colin Powell's 13 laws of leadership, is don't let adverse facts stand in the way of making a great decision or a good decision.
That's good. Say it again, please.
Don't let adverse facts stand in the way of making a good decision.
That's good.
And some of these kids have had so many adverse facts. Mm-hmm. Your mother being on drugs is a fact. Mm-hmm. You can't make that up, you know. Your father being imprisoned or on drugs or absent, that is a fact. You living in poverty, those are facts, right? Yes. But don't let those adverse facts stand in the way of a good decision. And when kids make good decisions, man, they should be celebrated in coming through that adversity.
Absolutely.
And given opportunities to explore their greatness like you did with the camp. I mean, I can only imagine some of the kids who came in, and you've done this for 20 plus years, right, man, come in, head down, then they walk out, they bright, they like, I can really do something. Yes. Like, I can be amazing. You didn't see what I did at camp, though. I made this. And they light up, and you start to see that kid. Man.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the joy of doing this work. You know,
yes, sir.
I mean, you're doing it, you know, almost every day. And you see what we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
And I just want the audience to understand why we support people like Denell Howard, because there are results. It's not even theoretical. This is actual, tangible results.
Yes,
lives being changed. And there's nothing greater than to build up another person, especially a young person.
Yes, sir.
Any more misconceptions about young people that you've noticed in Black young men in particular?
I mean, again, the greatest one is that they don't want it. And then violent. Let me say this here.
Yeah.
Violent. One of our challenges as an organization was we wrestle with the violence prevention. Here's why we wrestle with that funding for violent prevention or crime prevention monies, things like that. Because what it does is it presupposes, it continues the narrative.
Right.
It presupposes that Black kids are violent, are little pre-criminals.
Right.
Who you got to go get the most criminal among us to stop these little pre-criminals from becoming criminals. So we don't do crime prevention. We do leadership development.
Yes.
Because just because a young Black boy is born in the 46218 to a single mother who works two mid-level or mediocre jobs and lives in the hillside apartments or lives in Baltimore apartments, doesn't mean that kid is going to prison.
Right. Yes, sir.
Now, he's got some adverse facts that he's going to have to deal with, but it doesn't mean he's a little pre-criminal that you got to go and make sure he doesn't become a criminal.
Yes.
He's a child being born in adversity, but he has the ability to overcome all of those challenges. So I think one of the other misconception I would say is that these young boys are violent. Now they're hurt. They're hurt. They've been marginalized and oppressed, and some of them you can see it on their face. Right. You can see it on their body language, on their demeanor. Adults have robbed them of their light, their vision. This systematic racism has robbed them of their view or vision of something great. And so they're hurt, but they're not as violent. They're not, it's a misconception that all of these young Black boys are just walking around angry with a bunch of guns, ready to kill anybody. That's not true, man.
It's not true.
It's not true.
No, I resent that narrative. I do.
Yeah.
Because I was raised in Hallville and 34th and Sherman Drive.
Okay.
And believe me when I tell you, there was stuff going on back then.
Yes, sir.
We just know more about it today. Nonsense been happening forever. You know what I'm saying?
I don't like when adults be acting shocked. Like, oh my God. Like, no, I mean, things are multiplied because of access to multiple things.
Exactly. Yeah.
But you know, as preachers, we know the same thing has always been this struggle with being human, man.
Well, what you just shared, Pastor, is one of my main motivations for what I've done in the past and the present. How I look at young people. Okay. I heard this phrase from a Latino youth worker in L.A.
Okay.
He said he stopped using the term at risk.
Yeah.
And began using the term at promise.
That's good.
Because how you approach young people
absolutely
will dictate how you serve them or do not serve them.
You know, my son, and I hope this goes along with what we're saying. My son was going to middle school, and for the first time, he was in the 5th grade. For the first time, he was going to have a white male teacher.
Okay.
And I was aware of this would be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked for a meeting with this teacher, the principal, my wife, and myself. And I asked the teacher when we got into the meeting, I said, "Do you believe my son is intelligent?"
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I believe all kids are intelligent." I understand. But do you believe my son is intelligent? I think all kids are intelligent. He looked to the principal like, "I don't understand the line of questioning." And so she's like, "Mr. Howard, where are you getting at?" I said, "Well, the reason why I asked, because my son had been in this elementary school for all of his journey. I said, I'm asking, do you believe my son is intelligent? Because if you believe my son is intelligent, you're going to teach him a certain way. And my son will not be able to bring you D's because you believe he's intelligent. And you'll push him as opposed to giving him an opportunity to fail. Like, you all right. You can give us a C. You know, you're doing your best. No. And of course, this is my son's first time having a white male teacher. Mm-hmm. And I don't need him to be pacified. I need him to understand that he's intelligent, that he's great, and that he can do better. And I think one of the things that we do, and I say that to say that one of the things that we do is we don't push the greatness and the intelligence, and we allow our kids to just, you're doing the best you can, are you? Right. Now, if you are doing the best you can,
right,
let's roll. But if you're not, I believe there's more in you. And so I'm going to push you for that.
That's good.
I'm going to ask you for more. Yeah.
My wife taught elementary school for 42 years. She retired 3 years ago.
She's a star.
Yeah. And she's one of those educators, as you say, whoever's in front of her is going to learn.
Yeah.
Even though she knows children come in sometimes haven't had breakfast and so forth, have experienced or witnessed violence and such. But that never became an excuse. In fact, she educated her fellow, especially newer teachers coming in, white teachers in particular, who felt sorry for the children.
Yes.
And that led to low expectation.
Yes.
And her message was, you hurt those children further.
When you do that. And so that's our message to all educators, black and mostly in white coming in, that don't feel sorry for our children. Expect the best, and you'll get the best. I had the privilege and may be blessed in his rest now to work on at a retreat with Dr. Kunjufu, Dr. Kwanzaa Kunjufu, who I believe was one of the greatest authors about the Black experience that we had in our lifetime. And one of his books, one of my favorite books he wrote was Black Student Middle Class Teacher.
I'm aware of that book.
Absolutely. I know you would be. Yeah, and one of the things that he made a point of saying, he didn't say Black student white teachers. Mm-hmm. He said middle class teachers, because there's a certain mentality that you bring to these classrooms.
Yes.
And I just thought about when you said about your wife, about how he would talk about being prepared for the showdown with these kids and winning that battle. And letting these kids know that you are here for them. Mm-hmm. Like, I am here for you. I'm not going to let you fail on you. Like, I'm going to make sure I am here to fight you for you, you know. there's a approach when you were talking about how your wife approaches the warm demander pedagogy, where I'm going to be empathetic to your challenges.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I got some crackers in my drawer.
Yes.
Yeah. And or
what's that called again? The
warm demander pedagogy. Yeah.
I love that.
I'm warm, but I'm demanding.
Yes.
You can put your head down. Because maybe you didn't. I mean, your mother was abused last night. You were up all night last night. Your mom and your daddy fell out, and y'all had to get in the car and go sleep in the car. These are real life things that our kids go through, and so you're tired. This class is 40 minutes. Okay, put your head down for 15 of them. Try to recoup. Try to get you some rest.
That's good.
But I'm gonna wake you up in a little bit.
Yes.
And I'm gonna need you to get at least 4 of these assignments. We're gonna do something. Because I love you enough to understand you have adversity, but I can't let you quit on yourself.
Yeah. See, we need more of that across the board.
Man.
Wow. See, that's exactly my mindset. Always has been my mindset, because coming up, I had 2 parents of my own. Praise God for that.
Bless you.
And I appreciated that expectation was there for me. And then I was able to encourage others around me. Didn't stop me from being foolish, silly from time to time,
and thank you for saying that, because that's what people act like. Well, if they only had 2 parents, they never do anything in life.
Man,
I mean,
no.
it's a. I think God was right. It's an amazing blessing. It is how it should be.
Yeah.
But even we find that children don't have 2 parents.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen all kind of problems.
Yes, sir.
From everybody.
Yes, sir.
I remember, of course, I'm a pastor, and I pastor, people, a lot of single parents. And I know what a single mom can do. We got single mothers who raise boys to grown men with the support of brothers in the church and their family members and such. So we don't let anything become an excuse for achieving the best version of that person. We don't.
Yeah. I always. You said that, I'm glad you added with the support of men, because I have a position, man. I tell women this, that women cannot raise men. And I always say this because women see this, they'll be like, see, that's what I'm talking about. I always say, if you ask a woman, can a man raise a girl? And you're like, no, he can't raise her. He can raise her, but he can't teach her how to be a woman.
Right.
But manhood is not just arriving to 18.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Manhood is some other things. And so we have some great mothers out there who are doing their best. But I tell my young boys all the time, you need a coach, a pastor, a teacher. Manhood is just not defined by maleness. Maleness does not make you a man. That does not just define manhood, of course. Right. But you need men in your life to help guide you through these challenges that your mother just doesn't understand.
Yes.
And I had an altercation with a sister one day. She said, I'm that boy, mama and his daddy. I said, no, you're an amazing mother.
Yes.
You're an amazing mother. You've done an amazing job doing everything that you can.
Yes.
But you could never be that boy's father. When we do that, we just minimize the role of daddy.
Well, that's kind of a trend anyway.
Yeah, right.
In our culture somewhere. Right. I, so true. I was in Chicago visiting my daughter, and she has friends, and one of her friends is a single mother. She brought her son in, and she's raising a boy. And of course, her good thing is his dad's in his life.
Yes, sir.
But he met me for not the first time, but since he's been of this certain age. I said, it's good to see you. And put my hand out, he shook my hand. I said, oh, no, shake my hand again. I said, I need you to grab my hand firm.
Yes.
And he did it. Looked at me in the eye. Yeah. And that's he won't forget that.
No, he won't.
Because it's not all what manhood's about. But obviously, those are things that men communicate. Absolutely. We want you to be strong in character and strong in presence. Not overbearing, not dominating.
No, not a bully.
Not a bully. Yeah, but be strong.
Dr. Kunjufu said that women, mothers, raise their daughters and love their sons. And that's the challenge.
Yeah.
Mothers raise their daughters and love their sons. And so only a man can actually raise a boy to be a man.
Yeah.
So
we had all these stories as being fathers and men. And I remember my boys, I have two boys, they're grown now, they're grown men. But when they were teenagers, of course, they had jobs, you know, chores and things. And cutting grass was one thing,
responsibility.
And so in the middle of the summer, I said, hey, boy, tell you something, it's going to be 95 degrees today. You know, cut that grass in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Before it get hot. He didn't do it. He didn't mess around, didn't do it. I said, go cut the grass. Mama be like, it's 95 degrees. Daddy be like, cut the grass.
Yeah.
You made a choice not to cut it.
Because I gave you advice. Now, here's the consequences of not following the advice that was given.
Yeah.
Because the grass still got to be cut.
He's out there cutting, sweating. He didn't die, you know what I'm saying? But he learned something. That's one of the man things.
I know what I will do next time. I'll get up and cut that grass. Yeah.
These are lessons that, you know, I mean, obviously, it's not that a mom can't do that. But in men, we're wired for that kind of thing because we just, well, not all of us, but those who came up this way.
Absolutely.
We appreciate that work is a part of life, is a part of being a man.
Yes.
And so let me ask you this. Talk about your ongoing programs at E.V.O.L.V.E International and the summer programs that's starting up I'm recording this end of May. So what's coming up and what's going on with E.V.O.L.V.E?
So E.V.O.L.V.E, man, I try to talk about E.V.O.L.V.E in what I call the 5 C's. The 5 C's are camps, coaches, conference, clubs, and our center. I think I hit all of them. Our camps, coaches, conference, clubs, and centers. So right now we just came out of our clubs because school is ending as of this recording. We have clubs in schools, and then we also have clubs in the a club in the juvenile detention center, and then we have 2 clubs, one on the west side and one in Douglas. And so in May, our clubs sort of come to an end because we're preparing for the summer because, of course, we have our camps. We have 3 camps typically a year. We have our spring camp, we have our fall camp, and these are all based on Indianapolis Public Schools' schedule for their fall break, spring break. But then we have our summer camp, and that's what's coming up now. We're getting ready for our summer camp. It is a 7-week camp. You know, it's 7-week camp, Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4 p.m. And so we've been doing this for a few years, preparing. We teach leadership principles. We have our E.V.O.L.V.E leadership course that the boys have to take. It's a 13 lesson course where we deal with pro-social skills and these kind of things we're teaching young boys. So we run that this summer. We got that coming up. But in our E.V.O.L.V. sports area, we're running right now in partnership with L&O and friends like Anthony Hampton. We're running our summer league, summer basketball league, right now currently at Douglas. And so, there are several people who are involved. I couldn't name all of those who are involved, but I know we hosted this summer program, this summer basketball league, because we're always concerned about getting kids off the streets, of course, but not just getting them off the streets, but getting them off the streets doing something that they want to do, bringing that kind of joy to them. And so all the kids that love playing basketball, man, they come out, they play, their friends come out, their sisters, little brothers, you know, you come out to see your brother hooping. We'd like to get more parents. I'd like to put that plug in right now. More parents, more church people.
Yes.
Thursday nights at Douglas, more church people. If you just come out, because sometimes, as you said earlier, you know, kids just need to be cheered for. You know, I mean, we got kids who are, and I don't want to be like telling sob stories. I want to be telling reality stories. We got kids who have to eat at Douglas. So Douglas provides a meal for them. They have to eat at Douglas. You'll see kids swapping shoes with each other in dirty socks, and some of them ain't gonna smell like they just came from, you know, the great place of luxury. I mean, but they're there and they want to play ball and they mean well and the camaraderie of basketball. Sports builds a great, as an offensive lineman, you know what sports does for us, man. It builds team, it builds character. There are principles in sports that you can extract from. You don't have to go to the NBA, the NFL, whatever, but there are principles you learn in team sports. Right. And so that's a great time for us during the summer. Man, we have hundreds of people in there, and these kids, man, their smiles, their trash talking, their joy for the game and the space. And we've been doing this now for several years, and I mean, I'm not a person that says luck or nothing like that, but I think strategically with the resources and the support and the people that are heading it up, we don't have those issues, man.
Yes.
Like we have basketball issues. Like some guys might get into a basketball argument.
Right.
And we have rules. If it's a basketball argument, you can have that argument because there's basketball. It's competitive. Right. But we haven't had, and I got to keep using these two brothers as examples with guys like Anthony Hampton and James Lomax. They quarterbacking, and those coaches. We got good coaches, man, who have the respect of their team. Like, we have Light of World Christian Church. Anderson White has a team, and the coaches are the ones who help that.
Yes,
because they know these kids intimately. So. We haven't had any issues, man, because kids do just want to hoop.
Yeah.
They just want to be in a safe space to hoop, have a good time, talk trash, eat some food, get love, get some high fives, these little kids out, man, and they trying to dribble the ball in front of you to show you that they got it. You got your kids that you've seen grow up in it. And, I'm always teasing. They know I do. I'm like, man, you still shooting that same broke jumper. I'm going to you will see this. It's a camaraderie, it's a feeling. So I encourage church people, people who don't have children to watch in the games, come out and just be supportive of it. Let the kids see, when you play football, man, the greatest feeling to have is to come off as an offensive lineman, pancake somebody, watch that running back run that ball in the end zone, and look up in that stand.
Yeah.
And they cheering.
Yes, sir.
You don't know all them people.
Right.
You don't even know, but they cheering.
Yeah.
And they recognize you opened the hole for somebody.
Yeah.
So, man, you may not know these kids, but just come and cheer for them. Let them know that there's somebody in the 46218 or beyond that's just cheering for them to come out in their cousin's shoes or their big brother's shoes and they mismatched socks and they dirty uniform, pajama pant, whatever. You're just cheering for them that they're safe, they're doing something that they love, and that big old smile is worth it.
That's good. I'm speaking with Pastor Denell Howard, director of E.V.O.L.V.E International, and I'm excited. I get excited listening to him and just hearing about the work that's being done. All right, summer programs. What's happening?
Summer programs, man.
What's happening?
We're getting ready for 7 weeks with your children. So it's 7 weeks with young black boys on our campus over at 3202 East 42nd Street. So our camp has sort of shifted to more of an outdoors camp, based on ability and availability also. But we'll be out on the property again. When I talk about the 5 C's, our 5th C is the center, which you did a magnificent job. Thank you very much. So we'll be on the campus 7 weeks, man. Our camp is something interesting. So what we do each morning, we have an eat up, wake up time, right? Kids gonna come in. They don't want to be up that early. It's the summer, so we give them about from 7:30 to 9 o'clock for parents to get the kids there, for them to lay around and have breakfast. It's that time. 9 o'clock is go time. 9 o'clock we work out. You gotta work out. Now some kids try to have their parents get them there after 9. but it's still fun. So 9 o'clock, man, we get to work. It's time to go. It's got to work out. We have our sessions at 10. So we do everything like in 45-minute increments because we find that young black boys learn better like that and they move, so it's sort of easier, not easier, but it's intense enough for them to get it and then you can pull off of them.
Yes.
So 9:45, we work them out. Got to work out real hard. We go real hard. Then you get your phone, we take a break. 9:45 to 10, we take a break. 10 is mentally intense now because now we're going to the E.V.O.L.V.E leadership course. Now we're going to the classwork because, again, we don't want our kids' mind to be on pause because it's summer. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Learning still must take place. And one of the things we've got to stop doing is anticipating other people to teach our children.
That's good.
So 10 to 10:45, we're learning E.V.O.L.V.E leadership course. We got the pro-social skills and all these things. And then we get 10:45, take a break. 10:45 to 11, the older kids are on their phone. The younger kids are still, sleeping, whatever the thing is. 11 o'clock, we typically try to bring a black male from whatever walks of life. We've had people from architects to the garbage man. Like, it doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. Because when I was younger, I could not wait to watch the life of the garbage man. Mm-hmm. And most of you guys remember, we watched Rock. Yeah. Rock was a show about the garbage man. Mm-hmm. And I remind kids that Dr. King was in Memphis for the sanitation workers. For right. The garbage man. Yeah. So we don't belittle any person. We have again, another one of our laws we learned from General Colin Powell is don't let your ego be so close to your position that when your position fails, your ego goes with it. Mm. Right? So we teach our boys that their self-worth is not about the position that they hold. Yes. Because you can be a garbage man and be influential in the community that you love, as long as you carry yourself with integrity and dignity and these kind of things. So at 11 o'clock, we bring in black men to speak to our boys, and they got them from 11 to 11:45 because, of course, it's got to be intense. You got to hold them. You got to keep them. We've had some speakers that, man, these boys will sit there past lunch. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're just intrigued. They find these questions, and they want to know. And one of the things that and others who do this work know, once you make yourself available to these young boys, they want to know. Yes. They have questions. Their minds are they want to know how, when, why, what you do it for. They want to know your mama and them. They want to know everything. So 11:45, man, this is time. Then we go to lunch. We have a lunch, depending on where we are, what we're doing, how the funding is, what we're eating, how the parents is, whatever, for lunch. And then at 1 o'clock, we have our, we're either doing something work-related, community service project. We have a farm on the property, so we're either working on the farm, or I put the boys on the bus, like we ride the city bus, so they know, like we take that's a ride for us. I need you to learn how this works. We need to ride the bus, learn how transfers work. The Julia Carson Center, I remember when they named it, we took the boys down there so they know what this name means, what's going on. So we may do something like that, or we may movie time, or we may have an adventure, go bowling or whatever we do. And then we back and I'm giving them back to their parents at 4. Yeah. Like, hey, come and get them. Don't be late. Don't be late. And that's Monday through Friday. Yeah. So, yeah.
Wow, this is rich. So, in fact, while we're speaking on the screen, you'll see a website address. So be sure to visit the address. It's been there the whole time. Okay. Be sure to visit the address on the screen and contact E.V.O.L.V.E, to find out these opportunities. I'm also showing graphics of these events. Yes. The summer camp program is coming up. Let me ask you this. So, we mentioned about your facility. Let me show something now. Yeah. I'm also actually a FAA licensed remote pilot.
Man of many
that means drone. Okay. And so I'm not a drone cowboy. I got a license. Okay. Drone cowboys, don't have no license. They just fly the drone illegally.
Right.
But but God put it in my heart to do something with Pastor Howard and E.V.O.L.V.E. So I did a video just kind of showing this property, this former IPS school 11, in which they've acquired and are transforming it into a center. That's one of the C's, right? The center. So watch this video and get excited about what's happening at the E.V.O.L.V.E. Center.
Tension's building all around, you can feel it in the air. It's more than a feeling, a new reality everywhere. All you can see the signs of the times. Yeah, it's coming, but they're all in the now. Everything you know, it's all about the change. See the sky crack and it rains down flames. Oh man, they ain't ready for it. This is something that they can't ignore. Coming down like a meteor. This is more than a game, you better get ready. Shock the world. Shock the world. This is more than a game. You better get ready. Go ahead, get ready. Shock the world. Shock the world. Shock the world. This is more than a game. You better get ready. Go ahead, get ready. Shock the world. Yeah. Shock the world. Feel the earth shake, smoke rising, walking through the flames. Our reality became unchained, like the jaws of a lion that can't be tamed. Welcome to the future. Everything new, walking on the edge. It's nothing that you're used to. Only the strong survive. You better catch your breath. Oh man, they ain't ready for it. This is something that they can't ignore. Coming down like a meteor. This is more than a game. You better get ready. Shock the world. Shock the world.
All right. Well, I trust you enjoyed that video, kind of highlighting the impact of this E.V.O.L.V.E. Center, which is currently being used and being developed. So, Pastor Howard, what are your present and future plans for the E.V.O.L.V.E. Center?
The goal for the center is health and wellness, education, logistics, pure science. How do we provide help in that area, in that neighborhood, in that community, and to the city of Indianapolis as a whole? So, the walking trail. The walking trail. We're thankful for Diabetes Impact Network. They invested $89,000 plus in a walking trail that walks the entire facility now. That space, walks that space. We're looking forward to the E.V.O.L.V.E. Sports, the soccer, bringing out the soccer and the flag football, the stage, I call it the juke joint. Of course, you got to be country to know what that is. But the performance stage is just a small performance, just a little platform to perform on. I don't want to make people overwhelmed by it, but it is huge in its impact.
Yes.
Opportunity to perform and have family gatherings. And we've done some amazing things out there, food giveaways. The farm is absolutely exciting. My partner, Autumn Lowry, from the ground up, she has done an amazing work out there. Now we have water out there. She's got, chickens are there now.
Okay, all right.
Chickens are there. They're harvesting eggs, man. They're growing strawberries and grapes and is fruits and vegetables, all part of our idea of plant to plate, which talks about our future, one of the future things that we plan on doing inside the facility. Of course, the gym being one, having our own gymnasium to do multiple things, making sure we can provide safe space for children and parents who have to work second shift jobs, because one of the things we talk about, when kids are out of pocket or they're doing something, we're always like, where's the parents? Some parents, unfortunately, have to work 2 or 3 jobs, especially these single mothers, or, some parents have to take on jobs that work the challenging hours.
Right.
And so how can we provide some assistance to those parents who have to take those jobs? We're looking at some mental health spaces, of course, with family community partners and people that we talk to and work with, that we're close with. There's a lot of work we're doing in conversation with others to make sure that this space is an ecosystem of resources where, one, we're on the bus line, but if you got to catch the bus with 2 or 3 of your kids, each one of them can be engaged at their level. Of course, we're going to do trades there. We're going to do welding there. We're going to do youth sports. We're going to do, of course, hangout. It's going to be a hangout spot too, because we want them to be safe when they're hanging out. Cosmetology. Of course, we're going to do cosmetology and beauty and barbering within there. So there's a lot of things that we have envisioned for the space. But what I would like people to know is that before we said anything, we spent time going in that community, knocking on doors. We knocked over 100 doors.
Okay.
We had this, and what was interesting is that the project was called Dare to Dream. And we simply asked the community, what would you like to see in this facility? And matter of fact, the headline that we got from Indy Star, Turn the Lights On,
yes,
came from one of our neighbors, the Latino lady across the street. She said, I've got the meadows behind me, and I've got darkness in front of me. If you guys just turn the lights on.
Turn the lights on.
Just turn the lights on.
That's a metaphor, isn't it?
Yes, sir. That's what we've been working on, trying to turn the lights on, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a lot, man. Kids are still hooping out there. We got the nets up, and they still go out there and hoop. Matter of fact, they protect the space.
Yes.
So they hoop, they take care of the space. People come out and use the space. We had a group use the space about 2 weeks ago, use the land, come out and have gatherings. So, it's a lot going on.
Good. Let me ask, how many acres is this?
It's close to 7 acres.
7 acres.
Close to 7
How many
acres.
square feet?
The building is 40,000 square foot.
40,000. Yes, a lot.
Yeah, so we our vision is to work every square foot we can.
Yes. And of course, those of us who are aware of the space, we know. We've seen that place sit there. Well, I think IPS had it, charter school had it, and just sat there,
Yes.
And we were all, I grew up in the neighborhood.
Okay.
My dad lived 6 blocks from there, so I see it all the time. And so we're happy now to see it being developed. And that said, we know the challenge for developing it is great.
Oh yeah, man. So just a quick of the story. So I pastor the church on Hove, and Mike Bowling is a friend of mine at Inglewood Christian Church, and the Shepherd community were getting ready to get rid of the property on Ralston.
Okay.
And so Mike came to me and he said, "Do you want this property? I think what your vision for your church and what you're trying to do, you can do that right here." So it was like, yes, we want it. How do we get it? This thing. Right. Lo and behold, it became up for bid, and Edna Martin Christian Center ended up with the facility. Okay. Now, much love and respect to them, because ever since they've had that space, they've always been partners with us.
Yes.
Always, in everything we do. Barato Britt is a fantastic person. But one day, after not gaining that space, one day I was coming down 42nd Street. I don't even know why I was over there in that neighborhood, but I was coming that way, and saw this old school. And sometimes people laugh at us, but being men of faith, there's stuff that you will do that an average person won't do.
Right, exactly.
I saw that space, Pastor, and I pulled over.
Yes.
I got out, and I started walking over there, and I asked God for it. And I'm talking about, I'll touch the trees, I'll touch the doors, I walk on the property. I just asked God for it. I said, God, I think you can give us this. This will be it. And I did this for about 2 to 3 years, never knowing who owned the building. That wasn't routine. I didn't like, okay, every Tuesday I got to go by here and do it. You know what I mean? If I was in that area, I was going that way, or now there were some days I would make a purposeful trip over there and to just go by. And one day I was driving through and this guy was boarding up the doors. And I walked up to him and I said, hey man, what you doing to my building? And he cracked up. And that began the journey. I wish I'd tell you the journey, man, but it took 2 to 3 years before we even knew who owned the building. Of prayer, faith, believing that this should be us.
Yes.
And I tell all leaders, not being afraid to fail. Like, but John Maxwell talks about problems in the idea that you learn. Every problem is just a lesson.
Right.
There's either I win or I learn.
Yes. That's good.
So
there's no lose.
Yeah, there's no lose.
I'm gonna learn.
I'm gonna win, I'm gonna learn. So we took that giant leap of faith, and our mutual friend, Dr. Adams, came by. We had a prayer session over there one time. Dr. Adams came by. He said some magical words. I guess, years of ministry will give you some words to say. He said, it's too big for you guys, but it's just right for God.
Yes.
Man, that set us on fire.
That's good. So now there's a 11. Say it again. The phrase 11.
The 11 for 11 campaign, man.
Which stands for?
We're not trying. Our goal is to raise $11 million for School 11 by having people give $11.
Yes.
All we're asking you for is $11.
Yes.
The 11 for 11 campaign. And of course, this campaign it'll be over time, and we're renovating the building in phases. So every time we get a certain amount, we're going to do a certain part.
Yes.
But our goal is to raise $11 million for School 11.
11.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's that. I tell you, that's, as you say, people of faith see things differently.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm sure you got to push back. Oh my God,
man,
what are you doing, man?
$11 million, and we see this because you're in certain spaces.
Right.
Like really, to our audience, I would say, to us, $11 million it is a lot of money.
Right.
To people who write these checks and move these monies around, it's very doable.
Yeah,
very doable.
Sure, it's doable.
But with God, all things are possible. So yeah, people were like, bruh, 11. We've had some good friends like yourself.
Oh, yeah.
People who are like, hey man, listen, again, one of my statements is, man, I'm from Mississippi, so you got to pray for me, man. I'm just country enough to believe in stuff, man. We grew up around HBCUs.
Yes.
You see, so we understand that, Mississippi Valley State University, one of the greatest universities in America.
Absolutely. Is that Jerry Rice?
Man, yes, sir. Jerry Rice. And he had to have somebody throw it to him. So don't forget Willie Tyler. Yeah, man. So they had to have somebody block for him. I was growing up in Mississippi Valley State. They had these guys, they call them 2 tons of fun.
Yes.
Man, the offensive line was crazy. Right. But Mississippi Valley State, again, was a agricultural school in the middle of swampland. You see, so when you look at Florida A&M, yes. You look at Tuskegee, you look at all of these universities, and you go, hey man, we know how to do what we need to do.
Oh, we do. Listen, there is people who now with this push to try to, suppress Black history, man, is making us focus more on it. One thing we know is that there were about 121 Black colleges in the 1930s.
We've lost some.
We lost some, but the point is, this is the initiative that in Black culture, there is always been a very strong initiative to succeed and overcome and do things.
Absolutely.
And so it's not surprising to me that Denell Howard, in the 21st century, has acquired a property.
Yes, sir.
That people think is too much for you. Yeah, but not too much for God.
Not too much for
That's
God.
always been the mindset.
Absolutely.
You cannot succeed without that mindset.
Absolutely.
You won't go forward without believing that God can do what he said he could do.
I heard a leader say one day, every leader ought to have a vision so big that other leaders can see themselves in it and not be lost.
Yeah, that's good.
And we believe that this School 11 project is our big audacious goal.
Yes.
That people can see themselves in, that other leaders, you've seen the space, that other leaders can see and go, wow.
Yes.
You know what? We can see that. But again, I'll quote John Maxwell again. He said that leaders see more and before.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I think leaders, I don't get upset with people who can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're like, I don't see that. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm asking you to do is invest $11. You can't. I mean, $11 won't hurt you. You know,
you don't have to see it.
Right. You don't have to see the 11 million.
Yeah.
Just can you make an $11 donation? So we got some good responses.
That's
man.
good.
And we're looking for more. We need more. Rather, we need, especially in Indianapolis, we need the Black community. And all communities, of course, but we do need the Black community to see this do-for-self mentality.
Yes.
And raise up a level of energy that says, hey, man, listen, it's worth the $11 try.
Absolutely.
It's worth the $11 try. If it doesn't succeed according to what they deem success, they can say, well, I only gave $11.
That's good.
Yes, sir.
That's no lose situation.
We teach boys in E.V.O.L.V.E. So every boy in E.V.O.L.V.E. they have to fill out a behavior assessment form, and they have to fill out the E.V.O.L.V.E. plan. Because again, like I said earlier, we don't tell you what success is. It's sort of like solution-focused therapy.
Yes.
We don't tell you what the answer is. The answer is inside of you. And so they fill out this E.V.O.L.V.E. plan, and the only thing we will fuss at you about, the only thing we will argue with you about is your plan, because you wrote your plan. And I just want you to be accountable to your plan. We believe individuals for what they want to do, man, what they want to be, what they want to become.
Yes.
If we give people the space, man, you will see that Sojourner Truths and Harriet Tubmans and Shirley Chisholms and Condoleezza Rice, these kind of people are not just historical people, man. We got some current waymakers.
Yes.
In our midst. We got some current Robert Johnsons.
Yes.
So, I watch people like Jalen Rose and Derek Coleman and the things that they're doing.
Right.
People who are running. We got young, amazing people. If we just, common sense takes the wisdom of the elders and the young people energy. If we just watch these young people, they will show you that, man, Madam C.J. Walker energy is not lost.
That's not.
Fannie Lou Hamer's energy is not lost. Reverend Shuttlesworth, Dr. King, there's a list of we can name.
And then for every person you've named that we know about, there are 1,000 hidden figures.
Absolutely.
Doing the same work, of which you're one, I'm one, so we're all motivated.
I preached in Montgomery, Alabama one year, and at this church, and I had people who participated, and I had a paper that it just says, I was there, and I just asked them to sign their names.
Yes.
It's just a bunch of names that people would never know. I had the privilege of meeting Fred Grace Sr. I even preached at his church in Tuskegee. Got a wonderful man. People who, like you said, who names get lost.
Yes.
But they were impactful.
Impactful.
So yes.
There's a book out by Jamar Tisby entitled Spirit of Justice. And his book specifically tells stories of people you never heard of before in Black history.
Yes.
And women and men who did significant work.
Absolutely.
Even, for example, he highlighted that Frederick Douglass's wife did work. Without her, there's no Frederick Douglass. That's a whole story of those who support those who are doing work.
Great allies. We always need great allies. Listen. Here's my thing to my allies. This proverb.
Yes.
That whatever you do for me, if you don't do it with me, you've actually done it to me.
Yes. And
Black people are tired of people doing things to them, but we show enough love when you do stuff with us.
Yes.
So true allies, man. True allies. We will not be successful without good
No, and that is the, of course, the biblical model. Obviously, you know, we're the body of Christ, right?
Absolutely.
Members in particular.
Absolutely.
And that we're certainly better together. That's a cliche, but it's true.
It is.
It is true. Yeah.
If you want to go fast, go by yourself.
Yeah.
If you want to go far, go together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Pastor, this has been a great conversation. We can go on for quite some time because there's so much to say.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap up here.
My accountant is checking in. So
okay. All right, then. Let me close with this question. What's some advice you can give to parents to help them navigate their children through these challenging times?
Man, as a parent of a 19-year-old boy and parent of a 26-year-old who's about to give birth, and a parent of a 29-year-old who has mental disabilities, I would say to parents, don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. We don't charge for E.V.O.L.V.E. What we ask parents for is one thing: consistency. Yeah, we ask them for consistency. Just stay consistent. And whatever you don't know, go get it. Go learn. The struggle for me, and I encourage the sisters who boys we're with, is that, hey, you may not know it, but go learn it. Get with somebody, talk with somebody, be open. Don't function in isolation, because isolation will not elevate you. So we try to build, we have a parent engagement director because we try to build relationship with parents who share the E.V.O.L.V.E. experience. Don't quit, man. And our kids are not the same. My oldest daughter, who has mental disabilities, man, she has a different challenge than my middle daughter, who's, again, now she's 26. She's graduate from high school, great grades, went to Purdue, got a degree, brilliant mind. She's 26 now. She's pregnant, and there's a difference in our conversations. My 19-year-old, the baby boy, right? He's graduated from high school when he's at Kentucky State. He's got challenges of a 19-year-old boy in college alone. Yeah, now, you know. And so we raised him to be a leader and try to make sure he leads himself first, and then be a leader amongst his people. But it's a freshman in college,
right?
So so I gotta call him because sometimes he's doing freshman in college stuff,
right?
But for parents, man, just stay consistent in your kids' life. Make sure you're learning. You know, man, there's so much. I mean, active listening. Active listening is essential. I just know my children do want to talk to me. Then sometimes they don't want to talk to me. But when they do, I actively listen. And push your children. Don't apologize for pushing your children. Don't apologize for pushing your children. I tell my 19-year-old one time, Dad, but I'm your father. Yeah. I'm going to push you. Right. I'm going to push you. I'm not going to allow you to settle. When you give me your best, if I deem that's your best, you said that this is my best, I'm going to accept that. Yes. But parents, if you know your kid is not giving their best, try to figure out how to help them. Remain calm and be kind. Remain calm and be kind. Yeah, that's right. I've never disciplined my kids in anger. When they make me mad, they get me. All right, you got to come back and see me. Take some time, parents. And I think I'll wrap it all up with one word. Yeah. Love them babies, man. Yes, sir. Love them babies, man. They come with all kind of challenges. But they just like us. My grandmother said, the hardest job for a parent is parenting the you that's in their kid. Wow. That's a word.
Well, thank you, Pastor. I've been speaking with Pastor Denell Howard.
Thank you for having me.
From E.V.O.L.V.E. International.
Yes,
Thank you, sir. Name of the church?
Yes, sir. I'm at the Hovey Street Church of Christ. Now, it's H-O-V-E-Y. Because I'm country, man. People like, Hovey, I don't know what that's at. But it's the Hovey Street Church of Christ, 2338, man. We're on the south side of Douglas Park. So, yeah, we're in the hood trying to do some good.
Well, you are. Thank you, sir, for being on the program today.
Yes, sir.
Well, God bless y'all. Thank you for being here on the Conversations in Focus podcast. So be sure to share this with others and get engaged with the E.V.O.L.V.E. International. Again, the website is there on the screen. Follow the link. Get your children involved in these programs and support E.V.O.L.V.E. International. All right, that's it. God bless. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir.